got the 20 minutes of play. So,
and the GFI.
You know, I think the significant difference between those two teams was the Dragons had to do it up the middle. They didn't have the speed or the pace to go around the outside, and that's you know, it makes you predictable. It makes it a little easier to defend.
There's the scoreline.
It means
5 points to 12.
the predictable attack coming up the middle can be shut down as long as you've got resilient defence. You make your one-on-one tackles, and that's what Gavagal did. They repelled the Raiders and came away with a win.
To the GFI 2015, sorry, the 2017 football club teams.
So that is the two cup semi-finals, and now we have at 6:05 the Shield final.
The 2017 Shield final. As we're ready for the start, please welcome to the field the CRFA, Gladiators, and the Devil's Advocate, Silver Dragons!
So, for the Shield final, we have the Chinese side.
And the GFI Hong Kong Football Club teams.
And up against the Irish Vikings.
Taking on
up against the Silver Dragons.
To the Silver Dragons.
Silver Dragons, right. Devil's Advocate, Silver Dragons. Two sort of local derbies here. It's good to see this team from China coming down here. They've had a good run at it. Very good with the ball in hand. Not so finding it that easy in the contact. They don't quite have the physical bulk. But when they've got the ball in the hand, they run well. They change direction. They run under the ball. And so some good skills. It's really good to see that they're here. And
so it's almost a China versus China match, this one.
Right. I think I'll go for China.
Sitting on the fence. So, thank you very much for the input of former All Black Terry Wright. And I'm now joined by another legend of Hong Kong rugby, Leighton Dooley. A man who knows more about the dark arts of scrummaging than anyone else.
More than he should do, anyway.
So,
thank you, Russell. Look at that, great break.
Silver Dragons, there. Nice offload, and he looked as if he was going to trip over his feet there. Philip Daly-Day Simpson, he's got the legs, and it's a score after 24 seconds. And much delight, Mark McCoy giving the offload. And Philip Daly-Day Simpson.
Nice break.
Probably one of the most interesting names on the whole team sheet. But a lovely break. He almost stumbled and showed a good gas, and opening the scoring for the Devil's Advocate Silver Dragons. And what a fantastic start.
Oh, wow, that's going to be great straight off the clock. That's going to be the quickest try, I think, of the tournament so far. Nice break there made by Silver Dragons, and again, men following in support, drew all the other players, completely caught them off foot, and then just popped it back inside, and the fella came through, a big fella came through and ran it down.
And so, referee in this particular match is Rowan Turner, an ex-Hong Kong player, and a little bit of footwork going on there by Lee Hai Tao. And as I was mentioning, Rowan Turner, next player, and he's been developed by the union and has shown up pretty well over the course of these 2 days.
Oh, it's pretty good work for referees too. It's hard, Yaki. You think the players are going to run around, but these referees are going to keep up with the play as well. So they've done a very good
free
job.
Kick, and Renaud Louis Chanavet, the scrum half, real multinational team, the Silver Dragons. That looked as if it was a knock on there, surely.
Referee's letting it run. Another try, Silver Dragons under the post.
It certainly looked as if the ball bounced off the upper body of Let's have a look at this on the replay.
Yeah.
Well, it bounced off the chest, and that's a surprise.
Right. Unlucky there for the Gladiators there. A bit hard to tell from here. We had the back on, but yes, it certainly looked like it bounced off and went forward. Therefore, he didn't pick it.
So, Alex Webb adds the extras, and 2 converted tries already, and only 3 minutes gone so far. It looks like it could be a very tough contest for the Gladiators.
They're looking like a bit of a long down the office, but nevertheless, they get the ball in the hand. They can be exciting. Great kick there. All the way down. It's going to be Gladiators' ball to the line out. Be interesting to see how these set pieces go. They're giving it away a bit of physicality if they got into the ruck and the maul, but the line out, they should be all right, but they've really got to get that ball to hand, and they've got to use the speed that they have. I reckon that's their main strength in this game, but they've got to have the ball.
Good
nice
line
clean
out.
take.
Line out, fooling the Silver Dragons somewhat. Good into play as well. Niluda
Running well. Got it out wide. They need to reset.
but it's been stolen, it's been ripped away, and Chabanez spilled by Mark McCoy on that occasion. The referee has seen it eventually. Well, he's actually penalised for holding on. He didn't see the knock on, but the right outcome with the CRFA getting the decision.
They're just going to struggle in this physical engagement. The contact part of it's very hard for them, so they run well with the ball, but twice in the rucks they've turned that ball over, they've lost it, they just can't.
There's Tommy Kwok, and there goes the flying figure of Renaud Louis Chabanez. And at the back of that scrum, pulling it out of there, Caleb Ballock. Alex Webb taking it into contact, rolling away from the contact. Chabanez, a kick and a go, and that bounces fantastically. And a second try for Matthew Holding, his second of this match. And again, well crafted, well weighted kick, and he got a perfect bounce.
They have. It was very nicely done. Nice little kick and chase, went through, timed it, and positioned it very, very well. It's a bit hard to see what the Gladiators are going to do here. They've really only got one weapon, which is speed, and they need that ball. And the Silver Dragons are just dominating in the set piece. They're dominating in that ruck breakdown. And so if the Silver Dragons don't get in clear it quickly, they're under pressure. So I'm not too sure what they're really going to be able to do here to get out of it. So that's 3 tries pretty quickly, and we're only 6 minutes into the game, 21-0.
And call to calm down from Alec Webb. And this morning's match, we watched the overseas Old Boys pile on quite a number of points on the Gladiators, and it was only one team in the first half playing. They scored 5 or 6 tries, but then the Chinese team came back, and the CRFA scored 4 tries and brought it quite close. Perhaps a suggestion that the Irish Vikings, it was actually the Irish Vikings, perhaps they were a little bit worn out.
There might have been an 11th player involved with that one, called one Joe. But no, they certainly do look at it. They get the ball, they can run, and we saw before when they had it, they managed to move it up the paddock, but they just get into contact and they lose that ball. It's very hard for them to retain position.
We should have a call out for Ralphie, who's enjoying his 50th birthday, we gather. And sticking it on the backside of the shorts is a novel way to advertise that. So, CRFA, Gladiators, and that's been lost. And Alec Webb, he's not getting away with that one.
Lucky there for Gladiators.
Having to calm down a somewhat irate Wan Shu.
Had the ball, threw the ball back, didn't make the pass, didn't go to hand there. Opened it up, but very lucky it was a knock-on by the Devil's Advocate Silver Dragons. Scrum here, but I think it's going to be interesting to see whether Gladiators can hold up under the pressure.
Well, they do need quick ball here. be a lot of power, but it's been a solid scrum.
Did well.
And through the hands, and the pace is a...
This is where they've got it. There's a man wide, using. Nice
there we
pick up.
go. Bit of pace now.
He's on his own. Oh, referee pulling a forward pass. Very unlucky. Players don't know it though. They're still contesting. Back they go. But as you can see, when they get that ball, they get a bit of space. They've really got some wheels and they can move there. Bit unlucky the pass was forward.
Chong showing the pace there.
So we're
Captain.
looking up for the big one. The Gladiators Cup.
And a little unfortunate for CRFA. They could have done with a break there. Wasn't certain they were going to score. But,
Extra big day to me.
It would have put them in a good position. They could have just set and started again there, but scrum down. Silver Dragons ball.
a decent shove by the CRFA side.
Good tackle in the midfield though.
Big hit in the midfield on Alex Webb, who seems to be everywhere at the moment. Number 9's Corny Dutois, and a nice offload to Joshua Lane, who's got pace, but the Chinese break back, and a good tackle, although not releasing the ball on the ground.
Yep.
The tackle was made, and I think that was probably justified.
Fair call.
Through the hands, and again looking to run round this far stronger Silver Dragon side. Looking for gaps, going down the centre or going into the big players is not going to win.
Dead right. I think they've got to keep the ball away from contact. A bit more sevens rugby from these chaps might help them. Oh, almost
Liu
knocked it on.
Jongkui, and he's caught in possession almost. And good charge there. Cornel Dutois just absolutely stealing the ball. And another score. And this time it is Alec Webb who gets his second try. And we now have 4 tries, and again it was just a simple rip, pure power. Shang Chang-soon was heading to the floor, and the powerful figure of Corny Dutois, the South African, ripping it away.
They're just too strong for them, and again that's the contact point. They really need to try and play a bit more of a 7 style of game when they see that contact coming, shift the ball again, realign, staying well out of that contact area. That's the only way I think they're going to get through it.
It does seem to be where the challenge lies. Nice kick, but just drifts wide of the right hand post. And Alex Webb, the scorer.
He's been a busy boy, Alex Webb. He's done well, made some good setups, some good runs.
So, Tommy Kwok, who hails from Hong Kong but based in Shanghai.
It was a great take there by Gladiators.
Nice stepping. Pulled it again into the contact. The Silver Dragons not competing, counter-rucking at this stage. Again, it's a sharp pull around the neck. That would be an infringement in my book.
Yep, referee spotted it.
16, the captain, Shan Chung-sun. Big contact there with Tommy Kwok. Ball's gone out the side there, and a knock-on by the Silver Dragons firstly, and it doesn't matter because it is half-time. 26 points for the Devil's Advocates, Silver Dragons. 0 to CRFA Gladiators. It's been a very, very hard tournament for...
Now to bring your attention, if you wouldn't mind, to
the Gladiators, they've got a bit of a hard road to hoe. Looking very settled here as the Silver Dragons, the Devil's Advocate. They seem to be very much in control, just taking their time.
On behalf of everybody,
and then when the gap opens up, they can power through. They possibly don't have as much speed as the GFI Gladiators, but they don't really need it. They've just got some big, strong players. They can punch it up. Very solid defence, and contact suits them. The Gladiators coming to him is not really helping them at all. So I'm not too sure what the coach is going to say for the Gladiators. But he's going to have to give them some encouragement to get out there and finish this second half. 24-0. It's a big ask.
Other members of the work group that were released from the goalie. Look at this, there's an over here, fellas.
There hasn't been too many mismatches actually in this tournament. I think it's been a bit of a harder game for Dragons because they gave, the Gladiators gave the Penguins a bit of a decent run in the first game yesterday, around 5 or 10 minutes. So this is a bit more of a shellacking for them this time around at the moment. But
and getting somewhat drowned out by the PA as an award or a gift is given to Craig Wooten, who has been a stalwart and one of the organisers of this fantastic tournament. Inaugurated in 1986, and Craig Wooten returning to Australia after all these years. And
been a great rugby man, certainly a big supporter of football club.
He's been a fantastic supporter. Noted a comment in the interview in the programme that the beer intake and the rum intake will be down on next year in next year's sales. Football club, you have been warned. Now that seemed to be a bit of a breeze there because that ball seemed to spin back on itself. So 26 points to 0. It is the Silver Dragons against the Chinese Rugby FA side, but he's broken the line, and it's a fantastic run.
And there we go.
And offload to the flying figure of Hu Zhenye, and once they get on the front foot, the Chinese side have a lot of momentum.
That was it, just what they needed to do. That's where the pace is, that's where their strength is. Lovely cut and back, nice break, went onto that ball very well. Good base going through that, and a good follow-up from his teammate, and put it away, made it look very, very easy.
Liu Hua Chan, the was involved, and it was the same player coming back round, having started it, and that's been lost in contact. Again, the referee has now seen it, and frustration there for Cameron Massey.
Well, that's exactly the start they needed. They certainly need to get out there.
An injection of some hope for the Chinese Rugby FA development side, which played in this tournament last year and took some fairly big beatings, but this year expectations were that they would improve and it would be a stronger side with experience. Again, this development side getting experience, playing against foreign sides and a real range of nationalities here. Again, on the front foot, the stepping, and not much space for Gao Yin Hao. Really physical contact going on there. And again, as you say, Leighton, they really need to stay away from contact. Just play this away. And there was an overlap there, which was spurned. The pass a little low.
I mean, they're very good on their feet. You can just see how they move. Even when they get close, they can step very, very, very well. But they're not really getting that space to move. And the Silver Dragons, I think, I'm letting them run up to them, and really, because you could see that they didn't really have to do much. They just slowly walk forward. And just so long as they block those gaps and not giving any space to the Gladiators, and in the end they just run out of pitch.
The Silver Dragons perhaps losing a bit of momentum and desire, given that they look comfortably ahead at this stage.
Yeah.
But again, that was what the Irish Vikings did, and they nearly paid for it. The Chinese side is very fit, and they have some real speed.
Certainly for legs, and I can guarantee you the Chinese sides weren't out last night, so I don't know whether the Silver Dragons might have been down at the sponsors' watering hole, Devazava Cup, which is a great place to go for a bit of a libation after the game. But I can imagine the Gladiators were at home in bed pretty early last night, but they're looking good here. Ball in hand, it's just
good scrum. The scrum's been fairly strong, although wheeling it round, and it goes against the Chinese Rugby FA. And Alex Webb gets his hand on the ball, probably for the first time in this second half, and nudges it some distance down inside the 22. and it will be interesting to see how the CRFA deal with a line out, potentially a rolling maul.
Yeah, I think you'd be wondering whether the Silver Dragons would go with that, realising they got the physicality about it. Take it in, set it, just walk it up. No, don't play it. Oh, very nearly lost it there. Don't know what happens.
Through the hands there. Joshua Lane, who's got 2 tries already. Punched there by Carcamo, Chilean. Corne de Toa, make it clear out there for Chabinet. This is now on at scrum half. He'll add a bit of injection of pace and momentum.
Lost forward there by the Dragons. Yeah, scrum down to Gladiators. Actually, the scrum's held up quite well, considering they are giving away quite a bit of weight. Again, unlucky, got penalised there on the twist, but see if they can settle it down here and win their own ball.
Seems good technique.
Yeah, when you've got a bigger pack against you, you've really got to dig in low, just get right down. And just try and lock your legs up. There you go, well done. Good scrum, coming away here on the blind side. Nice flick back inside. But he's caught. Getting over the ball.
Ma Chong, captain, heavily involved in that.
Did well to retrieve that.
Again, there's a little burst, and that looked a little high tackle there. I am a bit surprised at that. That looked a little bit of a neck tackle.
Yeah, referee's called it.
He's been told he gave a different decision initially.
Yeah, look at McQueen, look like he's going to go
So
the
kick
other way.
and go, and there's an opportunity here. The bounce is very freakish though. And Shan Chung Seung brings down Tommy Kwok.
That was the chance. Not too sure I would have gone with it. I know they fancied the speed, but
giving Webb a lot to do there, but he stepped 3 players, and now it's a length of the field. Although the gaps, really good speed by the Chinese number 6 there.
Down to 9 players at the moment for the Chinese as well. One man down in the
Lee
middle of the
Luanda.
field. One man down in the middle of the paddock.
Yes, looks as if he's dropped by Tommy Kwok. Will be frustrated with that. But again, it's really a matter, will we see the Chinese side pull this deficit back? Still 19 points.
26-7, 4 minutes on the clock. It's looking a bit hard. The time's slipping away on them.
Yeah, they need to score at least get another one just shortly after the first one. That would have given them momentum.
Chinese player looks pretty sore there. Doesn't seem to be moving a lot, whether he's being knocked out or not too sure.
Not entirely sure. There's obviously some concern there. And it seems to be the neck or the shoulder. And it's the little scrum half. Liu Jiankui, and it's good he's on his feet.
Yeah, I think in the end, big hit there, he got knocked out of it, looking a bit groggy.
It's possibly probably a winding. Here we go, we'll get a good option. Okay, again, there was a high tackle. There was a drag around the neck. Initially, the referee wants to give that as a scrum. And that's good quick hands, some nice spinning out of that Zhang Chao. Lovely skill.
There are numbers, the ball is theirs.
I think the lungs and the legs are going to be with the Gladiators, but they're going to run out of time.
Well, taking the contact, maybe not the cleverest play there. Again, they've had to flood that area to retain possession.
Yeah, they've got to commit so many more men just to hang on to that ball. Big tackle.
And a bit of a tip on that one, ever so slightly. Not releasing the ball.
They're certainly not giving up.
For the nature of the tackle. But it does look now as if the Silver Dragons will look to run down the clock. Another score will surely finish the game, if it is not already gone.
Again, they just look very good with ball in hand. They run well, they evade the tackler, but again, they just get closed down in the end. So I I think certainly they've had a better year this year. Like you say, they've been a development side and improved on last year's result, and I think they can be pretty pleased with some of the game they've played here. They've played it well, they've played it at pace. They've obviously, mastered the necessary skill sets. That was always the challenge. It was so much instinctive for a lot of natural rugby playing countries how to play the game. But here they've certainly picked it up and they run well. Ball in from Gladiators. Scrum not stable. Referee penalising, giving a free kick. Action.
So Devil's Advocates, Silver Dragons, one last punch at the line. They will be taking to Shanghai the Shield final, inevitably. It is now, and the referee scrum to the CRFA, and not long now before
The Devil's
Advocate Dragons can celebrate.
And the GFI Hong Kong Football Club Team Shield Trophy. Those skulls will be getting wider and wider.
Feed again from Gladiators. Got pinged on the last one, but he's got the ball in quickly this time.
And
going up the blind side.
Again, good quick offload. Again, good cover track defence.
Oh, unlucky.
Didn't release the ball.
Didn't release the ball. But it's always pleasant. It's always pleasant to win a tournament or win some silverware at a tournament. Finishes things off.
Mate, had played this many years ago, getting shellacking. We came away with the bowl in the end, quite surprisingly. You're right, any piece of silverware at this tournament's worth having. Great fun.
And obviously, the 2 days is finished. The bar is open, and the 7's for the next 3 days.
Yeah, the real party begins. Now, it's a great week. You've got to just pace yourself. So much going on in and around. We had Kowloon Fest yesterday. You've got this great 10's spectacle, been going for 32 years. And here we go, ball with the Gladiators, having one last run at it.
Good step, taken off his feet.
Come away with the ball, thrown it away. Back.
One last moment, perhaps, through the hands. That's gone forward. And that, I think, is the end. And a victory in the Shield final for the Devil's Advocates, Silver Dragons, 26 points to 7 for the China Rugby FA. And decent match. The Chinese side putting up a spirited resistance in the second half, but the strength, the power of a very good Silver Dragon side was just too much, and the victory well deserved.
Yeah, they're a far bigger outfit, the Silver Dragons, they come up against, which made it a bit challenging for them. But all due respect, I mean, 26-7 in this tournament, that's not a disrespectful score at all. I think the Gladiators, they came, they competed, they played some very good rugby. There was moments of brilliance there when they had that ball in hand, and they certainly got that pace. It was just the physicality of the game, I think, is something that continued to cause problems for them. And they just got muscled off the ball. But they can now retire and go have a well-earned Yum Sing.
For the Silver Dragons.
And the tournament's over them. Silver Dragons very happy. Devil's Advocate, Silver Dragons. I dare say they'll be getting some free product later on from their sponsors.
The final shots are being taken.
And here they go.
Congratulations and thank you
having the photos.
To the CRFA Gladiators. Give the Gladiators a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Well done to the Chinese team.
And while you're going, give it up for the assured runners, the Devil's Advocate, Silver Dragons!
Well, I don't know whether you could have heard Big Jed there. He's a bit quiet, but nevertheless, indeed, Silver Dragons won out the Shield winners. I'll be very happy with that. Leaving the paddock and heading away to the nearest jug. Coming up next, we have got, we don't know. There's going to be 2 teams.
Of course we know. I'm just going to keep it a
mate,
secret from you.
Oh, well, I'll wait, Russ. I'll wait till you get a Twix in your mouth, and then I'll ask you a question, all right?
A little bit of chocolate infusion to keep the momentum going. But there you have it. The Silver Dragons celebrating already and congratulating each other. A lot of these teams, a touring side, they come down, there's a lot of bonding, a lot of friendships developed. On this side, better side than I've seen some of the previous Devil's Advocate Silver Dragons. This side, probably one of the best ones I've seen, and they've done well and been very competitive.
Up next,
So this
the ball final at the 2017 GFI Hong Kong Football Club 10's, the world's best 10's.
Yeah, the GFI Hong Kong Football Club 10's indeed a great tournament. This one, it's the whole week of rugby here, and the competition's just been getting stronger and stronger every year. Having played many years ago, and this one is a bit of a pickup team, the standard now is just phenomenal. And you can tell that by the fact that most of the teams here are coming from overseas. A lot of big names of former rugby players making up some of these sides. We had Big Dell, well, he wasn't here today, but he certainly had a run out yesterday for the Classic Wallabies. But also, you've got a lot of young talent coming through, and you've got to be thinking we might be looking at some future legends of the game in the making here in Hong Kong, because there's certainly been plenty of great rugby, a lot of talent, some very, very good football being played indeed.
that was a view of the Chinese development side, the CRFA, and it's been a difficult tournament for them. They've come up against some quality sides and taken some fairly heavy beatings. But there is pace, and there's clearly a development of Chinese rugby, and these young players with the experience playing in this tournament can only get better.
Yeah, and it's certainly good to see China in. I know that the PLA, who will be playing in the Taipan's game in a couple of weeks, is coming down to play in that tournament, and they've been a long-standing team involved in Hong Kong rugby, so it's good to see these teams really getting stuck into it, and that China is sponsoring it.
The Irish Vikings and the Rand Samurai International.
So, as the Silver Dragons enjoy their medal moment, we have the run-on for the Samurai and the Irish Dragons, and this is the ball final, and Samurai will likely be favourites on this, but the Irish Vikings cannot be underestimated.
Indeed, that put some good play on the Irish Vikings. I think the Samurai must feel a bit sad to be at this part of the competition. I think they had high aspirations to be in the main game. They've been 3 times in the final. A bit of an unusual spot to find themselves now in the bowl, but I think they're a good side. I think they're going to be really wanting to do this one and do it well, having come here. But we'll see if the Vikings have got it in them. They've got the name. Let's see if they can turn over a bigger opposition.
So as the celebrations die down with the Silver Dragons, we now have the ball final. Irish Vikings with the dark blue shirts and the lady with her swimsuit on against the Samurai with the Japanese styled shirts.
So the Irish Vikings to start